Become the demon in Metal Hellsinger VR, and it's 30% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 35% off total. 125 people have rated this 4.56 out of 5 stars, with 90% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Step into the half-demon body of the unknown and feel the pulse of metal rage through you. Metal Hellsinger VR redesigns the acclaimed rhythm shooter from the ground up, placing the infernal arsenal straight into your hands and the fires of hell at your feet. Experience an unparalleled state of flow as you move, dash, and aim in full VR. Remember, this is a flat screen game that has been totally transformed for the VR medium here. And just like its flat screen counterpart, you're going to enjoy a range of features from the original game, including the full epic campaign, Archdevil difficulty, torment challenges, and beat assist mode, all reimagined for VR. Quite simply, shoot to the beat to make the music unfold and your power grow. See the world around you pulsate to the rhythm and be unburdened by a traditional interface. This totally reminds me of Pistol Whip, but unlike Pistol Whip, where you're moving forward at all times, it looks like you're moving around in a full 3D environment here, like a giant arena. And of course, unlike Pistol Whip, where it's more the electronic dance genre, this is all about the death metal, man. The multi-award-winning original soundtrack composer duo, Two Feathers, have created a thunderous original score with vocals by metal icons such as System of a Down, Lamb of God, Arch Enemy, and much more. And as you can see from the list of awards and nominations here, these guys nailed the audio in the music in the gameplay. Amazing. Seriously, I'm gonna have to grab this game as soon as I can. And now that the game's been out for a little while, it does have some DLC that you can grab, and they're all on sale right now. The first one being Metal Hellsinger VR Purgatory. It's normally 20% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you can save 5% more, making it 25% off total. And that Purgatory DLC contains 3 new songs that I'm showing you right here if you want to pause and take a look, as well as new weapon and new cosmetic skins. And the second DLC they're offering is called Metal Hellsinger VR Essential Hits Pack, and it's 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. In this Essentials pack, you're seeing a plethora of weird songs that wouldn't normally fit the whole death metal genre here, and some of them including Gorillaz, Feel Good Inc., and Muse Uprising. And that's what took me by surprise here. I had to include it at the very beginning of this video. You know, some of these songs totally do not fit the death metal genre, but when I'd seen the actual trailer for this game, I was like, wow, that looks like a lot of fun for sure. And the last one they're offering is called Metal Hellsinger VR Dream of the Beast, and it's 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. And with this pack, you are getting 2 new songs that I'm showing you right here if you want to pause and take a look, as well as a brand new weapon and 3 outfits with passive effects. Very cool. You know, with all of those awards and nominations, and with that epic campaign, and just knowing that this game is literally Pistol Whip but totally reinvented in full 3D with that death metal genre, and if all of the content interests you, you can now get the complete edition at 25% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 30% off total. If there's anyone in the comments section that can speak to this game, if you own it, played it, loved it, hate it, whatever, please let us know whether or not we should grab this game at the sale price. I'm assuming so, man. It sounds amazing.
Fight, explore, build, cooperate, brew potions, chase the mystery, and dream up the solutions.
Take up to 3 of your friends on an amazing and immersive survival adventure in Green Hell VR, because it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 60% off total. The ratings continue to go up since its rough launch, with now over 600 people rating this 3.61 out of 5 stars, with 61% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And this is all about surviving in the jungle, as you have to keep an eye on your nutrition by using your stopwatch to monitor your carb, fat, protein, and water intake. Your smartwatch will also alert you to injuries, parasites, or even a fever. Eating healthy, staying hydrated, and building proper shelters while crafting tools and weapons to hunt is the key to surviving in Green Hell. And that's where having friends work with you in this game seems absolutely paramount. And I gotta say, since getting the wife a PSVR2 during that awesome 40% off holiday sale that's now unfortunately over, I'm really excited to game share this one with her, considering the latest 4-player co-op mode that just dropped on December 16th. Awesome. I'm hoping it's good to go with little to no bugs, as that update has now been out for almost a month. And I just have to speak to this really quick. You know, I did cover this right when the game launched. I did not make another video afterwards, so I did catch this when the game had a ton of bugs. And I gotta say, after a year of not playing it, I did just put it in, played it for a couple hours, and I was blown away as to how much better it was than my first experience. Whereas now everything just works seamlessly. Like, all of that stuff seems to be fixed. So the only negative I have to say about this game, it still doesn't have that decoupling where I can walk forward and look around. However, the actual room scale VR, being able to turn my body fully, felt really good, so it's not like I missed it completely. But what's really cool, the single player main campaign is supposed to take between 10 to 15 hours to complete, according to the developers. And then there's another free expansion that dropped months ago called The Spirits of Amazonia Part 1. And that alone can take another 10 to 15 hours to complete. This expansion claims to include many new activities and will let you enjoy a new map that is comparable in size to the zone already known inside Green Hell VR. Personally, I was just testing the game out to see if it's good to go, and I barely scratched the surface of that main campaign. So I'm very happy that I waited for this to be polished, and I'm looking forward to going back to the jungle. Red Matter 2 is an award-winning immersive puzzle adventure, and it's 45% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 3% more, making it 48% off total. Over 1,800 people have rated this 4.83 out of 5 stars, with 97% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. That's got to be one of the best ratings on the PlayStation Store, yet there are many that feel and have commented that the game does get boring and that there isn't much action throughout the game. Personally, I've only sunk an hour into it, so I can't give you my review just yet, but so far, so amazing. I do now understand all the comments for the past year. People are like saying, you need to get on this game, and now I'm telling everybody, you need to get on this game if you do not own it already. That said, do be sure to play Red Matter 1 right before you play this game. Even if you played it years ago, do get that free upgrade, which I did. And this kicks off right after Part 1, so I don't even want to tell you anything about the story. It did make a lot of sense to me, Part 1, and now it's making a lot more sense as I'm playing just the first hour of the game. I cannot get over just walking around ever so slowly using my full body to turn in room scale VR, and everything just feels absolutely smooth and seamless. The word to use here is breathtaking. But again, it does not do any of that justice until you put the headset on. I've seen this trailer so many times, and the moment I saw that chick saying, Sasha, Sasha. Oh, wow.
I can't believe it worked.
Oh, that is amazing.
Is that you?
Oh, that is. You know, I'm getting more detail than what you would see on the flat screen. Movement based on controller. Yes, this is what you do want for room scale VR. Otherwise, if you go by head, when you're moving forward and you turn your head, all of a sudden your guy's going to walk that way. It's not realistic. You want it on controller for every game. Now, just to point this out as a room scale walking example, if I move forward and keep my arms still straight, that's how I can still move forward and look around. The moment I turn my arm with my head while pressing forward, that's what's turning me. It just feels like a next-gen experience, and you don't want to go back after that. You know, not using a right stick to turn at all. We don't do that in real life, you know what I'm saying? It's just natural to walk and look around. Oh, it's so cool. Wow. That's the hardest thing, guys. You really can't show people what this headset can do until they put it on. And again, you can talk about it all you want. But even myself, who's owned this for almost 2 years now, I still get blown away. There's a reason why when you get into VR, it's hard to go back to any flat screen games. Oh, wow. When I look up here, the light, it's as if I'm in a closet with a fluorescent light beaming in my eyes. That OLED display really does make an incredible difference. Wow. Oh my goodness. Wow. Holy shit. Yeah, that's next level. Oh, I would be shitting my pants if I was legit right here. Oh, that is so cool. I'm kind of stiff right now. I need to relax and just breathe. Oh, that music. I love how the music is still on point with the original. You know, people can talk about it again until you put this game in on the PSVR 2. Even myself, for the past year, seeing previews of this, looks like a totally different game. It really does.
Hellsweeper.
Experience the most advanced combat mechanics to ever grace a video game in Hellsweeper VR Deluxe Edition, and it's 55% off right now. Over 600 people have rated this 4.31 out of 5 stars, with 83% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. With this deluxe edition, you are getting the Mythic Hellhound skin, the VR official soundtrack, and the digital art book. And this has got to be the most incredibly complicated, awesome combat system I've ever played in any video game whatsoever. Quite literally, the more time that you put into this game, the more options you choose and play with, the more that this becomes an extension of your body. Legit, it took me about 5 or 6 hours hours of playing around just to get the actual controls that I wanted for this game, and it was well worth it. I legit now feel like John Wick in VR. It's incredible. And just to speak to this, I've literally put in approximately 30 hours into this game, and I've hardly scratched the surface. I keep sticking to the same weapons and guns and stuff because I'm still ranking them up. I'm still progressing in the game. And then there's a whole slew of other weapons that totally transform the entire game experience, literally, that I've yet to unlock and touch. And then there's the actual co-op mode where you can play with a friend and then combine your weapons and powers at the same time. Every time this game's on sale, I keep trying to show everybody how this is the most incredible combat system in any game I've ever played before. It's just that there's so many options to play this game. And the actual default controls, man, I totally hated, jumping into the game right away. Had I just stuck with that, I would not have been playing with it more than for half an hour to an hour. And then they just released this Resurgence update that includes the original chick from Sariento from the first PSVR, and man, I loved that game, so much so that I platinumed it, and that is one of the hardest games on PSVR1, just saying. But it's not difficult once you become accustomed to the controls. That's all it is. That's what I'm hammering in here, guys. Man, you can actually have the John Wick experience in VR if you just play with your settings. I had to go through the entire thing, comb through every section, and completely change everything, and I'm so happy that I did. And the most recent update, Alliance, now allows up to 3 players to play together in co-op as well. This also includes a new game mode called Gauntlet with a brand new boss to conquer, as well as a brand new night and day mechanic that alters the balance of foes and rewards, along with a slew of other goodies. I am gonna have to make a video for you guys, but do grab this game at 50% off, hands down. It is so worth that. I mean, again, at least 30 hours for me right now, and I'm gonna put another 30 if not more. I can't believe so many of you don't even know that Mario Kart is in VR, and it's called Galaxy Kart, and it's 50% off, with 390 people rating it 4.01 out of 5 stars. 75% scored this 4 or 5 out of 5, and I have to quickly speak to this because the game has grown immensely even since the last time I covered this about a year ago. And I'm not the only one amazed here at the progress, as Without Parole has expressed their excitement with just how far this game has truly come along since launch. And now with the cross-platform support with all of the meta players out there, I'm not sure about PC VR, you never have to worry about having a game online, which was a thing back in the day during launch on the PSVR2. What a game changer, honestly. I personally did cover this game when they released that patch to allow every steering wheel to work with this game. Yes, I said that right. Every steering wheel works with this game. And again, since I'm using that force feedback wheel, this will not use force feedback in the game. It doesn't have that, rattling sensation when I'm hitting the wall or a certain part of the track. What happens is you have tension when you're taking a turn. You actually feel that resistance. Oh! I do love how there's tension in the wheel. That's very cool. And when you release the wheel, it snaps right back to the neutral position, which is absolutely what you want in a game like this. And combine that with using your brake and your pedal and holding one controller, you can easily steer and hold that controller with both hands using 2 fingers, as you're seeing right here, and shoot everybody at the same time without compromising any of the steering whatsoever. It really is Mario Kart in VR. Honestly, guys, the first few months the game came out, it only had a handful of tracks, really bare bones stuff, and now I think it's 4 or 5 times bigger than it originally was. And of course, like still, this game is butter smooth, making it feel absolutely incredible playing this with a steering wheel and one controller. It really is an unparalleled arcade VR experience. Oh, I felt that in my tummy, man. The game has 18 unique courses to choose from, 6 tournaments, which wasn't even out when I did my video, 11 characters with their own unique skills. Again, each one has their own weapon. And right now there are 9 power-ups for everyone to utilize, again, with that unique ability that each character has on their own that no one else can have. And of course, there are 4 levels of difficulty. This is very important because, again, with 18 courses, and if you're like me that doesn't get to play online all the time, you just want to jump in and play by yourself really quick. This single-player campaign before was 9 or 10. I had played for a few hours by myself on normal mode, and that's not even touching the hard or challenge mode. So I gotta say, I didn't even get to play online with anybody, and I'm sitting here touting this as an amazing game, as you're seeing on screen me having a blast. Dude, I'm not expecting, oh my god, that was scary. Sorry, no balls. Even though I love Mario Kart, this has now spoiled me from going back because I never had the same sense of speed, control, or immersion like I do when playing Galaxy Kart VR. For real. Especially when using that steering wheel and the PSVR2 Sense controller, coupled with my feet pressing the gas and brake pedals, feels so unreal and instantly fun to pick up and play. I truly can't recommend this enough at that awesome sale price. You need to run out and get this right now. And the other most amazing multiplayer game everyone else needs to get. This is After the Fall Deluxe Edition, and it's 70% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 75% off total. With over 1,000 people rating this 3.94 out of 5 stars, 71% of the audience gave this 4 or 5 out of 5. And with the Deluxe Edition, you are getting the exclusive PSVR2 skin, the official soundtrack, and the digital art book.
Let's go.
That said, I did just play this expecting to play it for maybe half an hour, thinking this is a PSVR1 game, it's going to be revamped, it's going to be okay, I'll get bored with it within half an hour. And no man, right when loading the game, I was taken back knowing this is a PSVR1 game, but they did just upgrade the whole thing, and it does look like a hybrid of PSVR1 and PSVR2 graphics. Like, it's got that clarity with this dynamic lighting and all these particle effects, and it looks really good. I mean, like, really good. If you didn't know, this game actually does have a free upgrade, so if you did buy this back in the day, man, you are going to want to pop this in and play this again for sure. Unlike the PSVR 1, this does include the PSVR2 Sense haptics. You do feel that difference. Even when I'm rolling over an icon to selecting an object, I do feel that special haptic sensation. The adaptive triggers immediately noticeable, even with the guns to using a light gun on an arcade display cabinet there. The headset haptics, were immediately evident when I got hit in the head. The touch sensitivity was there right when I loaded the game. I could see all my fingers curling. The only one that didn't was the actual trigger finger. That's it. But I mean, come on. That snow slush actually looks really good. It has depth, has transparency, and it has that three-dimensional effect to it. Like, it looks like frozen water that's just about to become a puddle of water. And as I'm sitting there getting a feel for the lobby, I'm hearing the music and I'm like, wow, this reminds me of Stranger Things. And then it dawns on me that this tech all around me is from the 80s. What a wicked aesthetic to everything. And then the soundtrack. So it is like the apocalypse happened in the late 80s or early 90s. And all that tech is still remaining there as you're exploring everything. Again, what I didn't expect is they throw you into the game and then I'm walking around and I realized, oh, wait a sec, I'm in a giant lobby of people. They're walking around with me in this like giant arcade. I totally dig how they incorporated the lobby within the game instead of me feeling like I'm jumping into a multiplayer mode. The game just has me in the lobby, but it doesn't feel like a lobby, if that makes sense. Again, what I didn't expect is, aside from the fun factor of playing the game, I got to play with 3 AI friends. I didn't want to jump in with anybody because I didn't want to screw with their game. Got a feel for everything, and the run itself, just what they call a harvest run. You're going out and you're trying to defeat as many zombies as possible, get as many points by defeating them. You see these little glowing orbs, roll over, just simply walk over it, collect it. After you've done a section of the game, you get to a safe house where you can recharge, use some of that currency you earned to buy boosters or health or whatever, but you're trying to keep as much of that as possible, so when you're done like 3 sections of that run, you return home and then you can upgrade your weapons to either new guns or new add-ons to the guns. And that whole section in that lobby is awesome, where you go in and you adjust your gun. Again, the whole theme, the whole aesthetic really did take me back. I wasn't expecting it to be so well done. And again, I do have to admit, I see this game on sale all the time. This is the best price at 70% off. So knowing this game is really cheap pretty much on the regular, and I'm getting such a top tiered experience here. But that free upgrade is only available to anyone that purchased this game before the launch of the PSVR 2. So if you do have the disc version on PS4, you can contact Vertigo directly, show them a proof of purchase, and they will honor it and give you that free digital upgrade. But yeah, unfortunately, anyone that did buy this after the launch of the PSVR 2, they will not honor it. It's only for those that did own this before the PSVR 2 launch, just as a heads up. And if you did just grab the PSVR 2 while it was on Black Friday sale, I highly recommend you do get the Resident Evil Village Gold Edition at 60% off. With almost 33,000 people, it scored 4.69 out of 5 stars, with 92% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And just like Resident Evil 4, the game does not have that VR mode built in, so you do need to go to the PlayStation Store, find Resident Evil Village, go all the way down till you see add-ons, click that VR mode, install it, then load the game up and you're ready to go. But unlike the standard edition, this Gold Edition at 60% off does include a whole plethora of extras that some of it does work in VR, and we're going to go over this really quick. In the Gold Edition, you are getting the Trauma Pack DLC, and with that, it does include the Samurai Edge AW Model 01, and that is available in VR, as well as the Resident Evil 7 found footage filter, and that is not available in VR, as that's for the flat screen experience only. You're getting the Resident Evil 7 tape recorder save point. Unfortunately, that is not in VR. You're getting Safe Room Music Go Tell Aunt Rhody, that is in VR, as well as the Mr. Everywhere weapon charm that is in VR as well. And with this trauma pack, you'll immediately unlock the Village of Shadows difficulty. And I do not know whether or not that Village of Shadows difficulty is available in VR. Anybody in the comments section, if you've played this, please let us know whether or not we can do this in VR. If not, I'm going to have to check it out sooner than later and let everybody know. You're also getting the Tragedy of Ethan Winters artwork and the Baker Incident Report, which are not available in VR. But the most important part of the gold edition that you're getting here is the Winters expansion. And there are 3 main modes to this game, and they're not available in VR, unfortunately. The first one is the ability to play the game in third-person mode. This is the classic Resident Evil 4 where you're seeing yourself in third person, but man, I gotta say, if you're a huge fan of the Resident Evil series, you probably will want to check this out. As well, this includes the Mercenary's additional orders, and just like the Resident Evil 4, this is a separate minigame where it's all about your skills in these time-based challenges. But unlike Resident Evil 4, this one includes 3 new characters, including the towering Lady Dimitrescu, as well as Heisenberg from what I'm seeing here in the trailer. I do not know that third one. Anyone in the comments section, if you want to let us know, that'd be great. But the most significant part of this DLC is called Shadows of Rose, and this is a new scenario starring the grown-up Rose, Ethan's beloved daughter, who was kidnapped as a baby that kicked off the original Village story. And just showing you real quick the rating that this actual DLC received, I am assuming that is the Shadows of Rose DLC, that is that extra storyline plot. I do wish that was in VR, like Daughters on Resident Evil 7. Don't know why they didn't do that. That would have been really cool to play. And speaking of which, the next DLC is again not in VR, but I didn't even know this existed until I did these sales videos. In the base game, you do get for free Resident Evil Reverse. This is an online multiplayer game that you play against your friends where you're fighting each other as teams. Then whoever dies, they spawn into these monsters and now they're attacking you. I've never played before, again, not in VR, will never play this. It even says in the description that the online service does not last forever, and at any time this game could go offline, so heads up. And for all of you that are unsure whether or not the Resident Evil Village is for you, I highly recommend you do get the gameplay demo for free on the PlayStation Store right now. But of course, the next game that needs to be in every PSVR2 library, we're talking about Resident Evil 4, and it's 50% off right now. With over 83,000 people rating the game, it scored 4.76 out of 5 stars, with 94% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Incredible. And just speaking from experience, again, I've never played this game before in the past whatsoever. This was my first experience in VR on the PSVR2, and I gotta say, man, I was blown away. And what I mean by that is, unlike Resident Evil Village, this game does take that classic video game challenge formula and then reinvents it in VR with all these zombies running at me at full room scale. What I absolutely loved about this game is it is a testament to taking a traditional video game, literally with all of the challenges, and not compromising it whatsoever for the VR medium. If anything, only enhancing it, giving you more freedom to actually move and dual wield. Spinning your body around in full life-size room scale VR is just an experience you cannot get on the flat screen, literally. But before we get ahead of myself, I do have to let everybody know, when you go to buy this game, it does not have that VR mode initially locked into it. You do have to go to the PlayStation Store, find Resident Evil 4, go all the way down, you're going to see add-ons there, and then you're going to see the Resident Evil 4 VR mode. Click that, download it, install it, then jump into the game. And real quick, I do have to show you right now, in order to play this game in full room scale VR, you do have to go to the settings I'm showing you right here. So when you hit your options button, go to options, VR controls, locomotion, controller. Pressing forward, looking around, I'm still able to move forward, guys. Still able to pull back and look around without him moving the body. When I press forward and move my body completely, look, he's turning around. It knows. It knows. Whereas the default is it's going to have you move your body with your head. Every time you turn your head, you know, your body turns with it, and that's not natural. As well, you can download another free add-on called The Mercenaries, but it's not in VR. 268 people have rated it 4.37 out of 5 stars, with 80% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And this game mode is all about racing against the clock and battling your way to the top of the leaderboards. And of course, every time they put this game on sale, they do include some add-ons, and as I go through these extra DLCs, I'm going to speak to what is available in VR and what isn't. So in VR, you can use the Resident Evil Deluxe weapon Sentinel 9. It's 25% off, or you can purchase the weapon Skull Shaker. It's 25% off. You can even use these accessories in VR, but you're not going to see them on your face. You might see them in a cinematic mode when they're showing Leon. It's 25% off. And the other one they're offering is a bunch of costumes. This one's called the Casual set for both Leon and Ashley. It's 25% off. And the next costumes available for Leon and Ashley is called Romantic. It's 25% 25% off. But the next DLC, it says specifically the actual filter is not available for VR. This one's called Costume and Filter Hero. It's 25% off. When it comes to the filter, that's a 2D flat screen experience. And what you're seeing here, this is an actual image of the before and after. So personally, when I'm seeing this, it looks really washed out. I'd rather just the original look altogether. And the other filter set that is not available in VR, this one's called Costume and Filter Villain. It's 25% off. Quickly showing you here, this is the actual filter, and I feel like it looks kind of red and orangey. It doesn't look as good as the original version, so I'm not too sure. Maybe I'm not seeing it on my screen why anybody would want to do this, but unless I'm missing something, please let me know. However, the next DLC is available for you to use in VR, and it does sound like the coolest piece. All of you out there who have played Resident Evil back in the day, number 4, you will love this original version soundtrack swap. And it's 25% off, and right from the PlayStation Store description, it does say you can switch this up, pausing the menu and going into the extras menu. And of course, this can be used for the main game. However, it does not work for the Separate Ways DLC, which again is not in VR, so don't worry about that one. And the next DLC is available in VR. This is called the Treasure Map Expansion. It's 25% off, and quite simply, in the game, you do automatically have this treasure map, and this simply just gives you more items on that treasure map, if not a couple extra items that weren't in the actual base game. And the location of those additional treasures can be confirmed in the main game map area there. But get this, some of the actual treasures you obtain in the main game using this expansion pack can be used in the Separate Ways DLC. So it's right there in the description, Sony's official statement there. You can see it for yourself. And if all of that interests you, you can get the bundle. It's called the Resident Evil 4 Extra DLC Pack, and it's 25% off. And again, just showing the list of all the content that we just went over and just speaking to this. Again, not everything works in VR. It's giving you an actual bullet form here, what's compatible and what's not compatible. So it is really confusing, being honest with you. However, I do not recommend any of this extra stuff. Just get the base game, especially at this sale price. That's all you need. That's all I needed to play the game, loving it and playing it all the way through. And the last piece of DLC that is offered still for Resident Evil 4, this has to do with upgrading your weapons using tickets. The first offering they have are individual tickets. They're 25% off each, and you can see there's an A on this one, and they're labeled this way because you can only get 6 of them, and then after that you can't buy any more individual tickets. That's why they're labeled A, B, C, D, E, and F. However, they do offer a triple pack, and it's 25% off, again lettering them A, B, C, and D. And then they offer one 5-pack, and it's 25% off. And then there is a letter A there. However, again, that's the only one that they're offering. And just to speak to this, it is confirming that you can use this in the main game, of course, and the Separate Ways DLC. Again, that Separate Ways DLC is not in VR, so it's just speaking to all the things you can do with it. But of course, if you're unsure whether or not Resident Evil is for you, I highly recommend you get that gameplay demo on the PlayStation Store right now. Soar through the skies like never before and restore balance to the universe with Sky Climb, and it's 50% off. 82 people have rated it 4.56 out of 5 stars, with 87% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. The first-person adventure brings classic platforming to VR, featuring an intuitive arm-based locomotion mechanism that allows you to fling yourself from one cube to another in low gravity. From what I'm seeing here in the trailer, you can create your own levels, which is really cool. I'm not too sure whether or not you can actually post them online for others to compete on. There is a single-player campaign spanning 7 unique worlds, which includes a total of 65 levels, complete with 7 boss encounters and power-ups to help you along the way. As well, there is a multiplayer championship mode supporting up to 6 players in races and hoop collecting. You can also personalize your climber with a ton of customization options to help stand out from the crowd. Swing and throw yourself freely across spacey jungle gym playgrounds in Toss, and it's 50% off. Over 170 people have rated this 4.28 out of 5 stars, with 85% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. The whole premise of the game is that you've simply crash landed on a cloud planet and need to collect parts to repair your ship as you launch yourself around 75 plus playground levels in 9 vibrant cloudscape biomes and rank up to become a Toss master. It touts to be the VR game that uniquely captures agility, timing, and gamer skill required to play the beloved platformer classics. Try to race against the clock with time attack, find as many bananas as possible, or master as few grabs as possible each round. You can also compete socially by time and rank and follow your friends' leaderboard's ghosts, just like the Mario Kart time trials. And don't forget, there's modifiers like zero gravity and double toss by becoming a Toss master. I've only heard great things about this game whenever it's been on sale, and a few parents now have mentioned that it's a blast to play, passing the headset around with the kids. don your gas mask, wield handmade weapons, and venture into the depths of this apocalyptic nightmare in Metro Awakening Deluxe Edition, and it's 26% off. Released only a couple months ago, over 1,400 people have rated this 4.55 out of 5 stars, with 89% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. Awesome. In the year 2028, either way, I've only heard survivors about this game, and I'm looking forward to checking this one out in the buried subways of the Moscow Metro, which has become civilization's last refuge and tomb, where spirits haunt the living in this man-made purgatory. You are a doctor searching for your wife as you brave the crippling radiation, darkness, and deadly threats of the Metro, desperately trying to find the medication she needs. As your courage and sanity are pushed to the limit, you must learn to walk the line between life and death, the spiritual and the material world, and awaken the being you must become. And what you're getting with this package, obviously the base game and some goodies, as you're seeing a complete list right here. First, you're getting this VR concept art gallery, which isn't in the traditional two-dimensional flip art style that we've seen in every other video game. This is an actual VR environment that you're walking around and looking at some of the objects. I personally, again, haven't experienced this before, but what I'm seeing here on Reddit, that's exactly what it sounds like. So really cool implementation there. As well, you're getting the Nautilus hide backpack, skeletal gloves, toy charm, and the fallen patch. And from what I understand, this is only cosmetics. There are no actual bonuses for wearing these in-game. I think they're just skins altogether, but again, that has to do with the original Metro games. If you played them before, which I haven't, I can't speak to it. Get some sort of nostalgic flair from that, I'm not too sure. Either way, I've only heard great things about this game, and I do know there was a major patch that fixed some lighting issues that were present at launch. Anyone in the comments that can speak to this, if you played it, loved it, or hate it, that would be awesome. Let us know whether or not there's anything we should expect, any wonkiness, or if this game's good to go.
We can solve this problem once and for all.
They're trying to make a vaccine.
You want to come? Good dog, buddy!
Arizona Sunshine 2 Deluxe Edition, the next-gen sequel to the fan-favorite VR Apocalypse, is currently 44% off right now. And with over 2,200 people rating this game, it scored 4.52 out of 5 stars, with 89% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And with this Deluxe Edition, you do get the exclusive Undead Buddy skin, as you're seeing here, as well as the exclusive Freddy Flesh Hand skin, and the exclusive Doggy Weapon Charm, which I don't think it does anything in the game. It could just be this decorative thing, but I gotta say, I did play the first one, beat it all the way through. I thought the game was good, but man, after seeing the trailers for Arizona Sunshine 2, this does look like the full next-gen title that I've been waiting for. In a post-apocalyptic world where every bullet counts, experience the thrill of realistic combat as you wield all new and fan-favorite weapons. And what's really kick-ass, man, that I've been waiting to play this game, you can enjoy the full campaign in 2-player co-op mode. As well, you can join up to 3 other players in 4-player co-op Horde mode, and they've already released an abundance of maps for the actual Horde mode, so very cool, man. They put a lot of love and attention to this game and then included all this extra DLC. And what's better than braving the end of the world than surviving it with your new best friend, Buddy? Not only is Buddy your 4-legged companion through thick and thin, he's also the goodest boy and will help take down those pesky Freds for you. And they really put a spotlight on this dog, man. There's even extra skins like an undead doggy and, you know, another breed of dog, the corgi, altogether, which is really weird but looks really cool. Everyone in the past that's commented on this game whenever it's gone on sale has only said great things about this game, seriously. And again, if you have a friend to play with or friends to play with, only better from what I'm hearing.
Good morning, Arizona. Hope you're all well. To all survivors of Sunshine Festival 2016.
And what's really cool, for those that didn't get to experience the first game, Arizona Sunshine, you can now get the new Arizona Sunshine Freddy's bundle at 30% off. And this bundle simply puts both games together at an even better price for those that don't already own the original on PS VR1. Otherwise, I recommend upgrading the first game for like $10 and then getting the Deluxe separately there on sale. And I just have to speak to this really quick. Arizona Sunshine on the PS VR1. I did experience that co-op mode and I thought it was good. Again, good. That's the best way to describe it. But the mechanics were not polished like Farpoint. I am hoping that when I revisit this game, because there is an upgrade fee that you can pay instead of buying this game all the way out. I'm totally expecting the game to look as good as it is on the trailer. However, I'm hoping the actual mechanics, the gameplay, the controls are much better than what I remember on the PS VR1. Just saying. What I didn't realize is that this remake actually offers all of the DLC from the first game. Very cool, man. Being honest, I don't think I played any of the DLC. I just played the original campaign all the way through with my friend, and I was kind of done with it after that. So, and of course, they've kept that intact. You can play the original campaign in co-op mode on Arizona Sunshine Remake, as well as the 4-player Horde mode, and I do believe that was already available on the PS VR1, so nothing different there from what I remember. And then they are claiming to have taken the Arizona Sunshine 2 mutilation and gore system and bringing it into Arizona Sunshine Remake. So that's really cool. As well, I feel it's very important to mention that Arizona Sunshine, if you didn't know, the original game did receive Best VR Game of the Year by Upload VR in 2016, Best Virtual Reality Game of 2017 by Dutch Game Awards, and Best HTC Vive First Person Shooter in 2016 by the Vive Awards. And I gotta say, I'm really surprised, being honest, after playing Farpoint again, and then jumping into Arizona Sunshine, that didn't win the award over this. And just to remind you again, if you do own the game on the PSVR 1, do pay that upgrade fee before buying this on sale at that sale price. Crossfire Sierra Squad is a hugely popular multiplayer first-person shooter campaign, and it's 35% off right now. With almost 1,800 people rating this, it scored 4.01 out of 5 stars, with 75% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And I can speak to this really quick. The launch of the game did have a ton of bugs. Then a month or two later, they totally rectified everything. And then another month later, they actually add another massive patch that fixed all the introduction levels. After a few updates now of the game since launch, I can say yes, I can recommend it at that price. And unlike all the other first-person shooters that focus on the online competitive multiplayer, this is about the campaign co-op as well as the squad-based missions. So cool. And it does include 39 types of weapons featuring pistols, rifles, throwable and throw-backable grenades and sniper rifles with revolutionary scope mechanics, giving you plenty of options to dispatch 17 types of enemies. And in classic arcade fashion, you'll engage with heavy artillery like helicopters and LAVs. The one thing I highly recommend, because I did play the game all the way through on the default, which was arcade, I did not like it. You need to play realism mode. I'm showing you right now when you buy the game, just change that to realism. And with that, you're going to actually take your enemies down with 1 or 2 bullets. That said, you will also go down in 1 or 2 hits. So it totally encourages you to take cover at all times, which I absolutely love playing in full room scale VR. Playing that way feels the way that I wanted the game to begin with. So I ended up playing it all the way through, unfortunately arcade, thankfully letting you guys know, go the realism route right away. Highly recommend that. And then there are 50 squad missions for single player or 2-player co-op on top of the 13 campaign missions. And of course they have this 4-player horde mode co-op, which I've never played before. So the replayability, the amount of content is absolutely there. So yeah, really cool that we have that option to play a first-person shooter campaign-based game. But if you want the complete world-building experience, look no further than cyubeVR. This one's 25% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 30% off total. Over 900 people have rated this 4.45 out of 5 stars, with 86% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And as you're seeing here, you're going to step into the most visually stunning voxel universe, custom crafted for the unparalleled immersion of VR. And of course, you can follow the objectives that guide you through the progression of the game, starting from breaking off your first piece of wood from a tree, to collecting increasingly rare resources and crafting powerful tools that allow you to fully shape your world. Explore a massive world, gather resources, naturally craft with your hands in 3D, and build anything you can imagine, literally. With infinite possibilities, you're going to navigate intricate, luminous caves delving deep underground, smelt collected resources with realistic VR furnace mechanics, or design a fortress on top of a towering mountain where you can get an amazing view over the world. Construct a bridge to connect 2 sky-high floating islands, dig yourself deep in the ground and work on complex underground structures, or forego all of that and focus on becoming more and more powerful and having more options to leave your mark on the world. In cyubeVR, if you can see it, you can reach it, or even destroy it. Explore a fully destructible world that's as fluid as it is expansive, made up of hundreds of billions of individually modifiable voxel blocks with smoothly changing time of day and weather. Immerse yourself in a world brought to life by complex dynamic lighting and captivating night skies adorned with beautiful auroras. Experience unparalleled clarity and detail up close thanks to meticulously crafted 8K textures and eye-tracking foveated rendering, powered by Unreal Engine. Even the closest inspection reveals a world in stunning sharpness. And what's incredible on top of this, they include mod support on PS5, where you can easily browse, download, and install custom mod blocks created by the cyubeVR community for maximum variety in your builds. And to wrap this all up, they talk about having this comfort your own way, where it ensures an accessible VR experience for everyone. Literally, you can adjust how bright or dark you prefer the night to be, the brightness of light sources, the duration of day and night, and much more. Most importantly, you have many different options for movement. Choose from hand-oriented, yes, hand-oriented being room scale, head-oriented, or even estimated feet-oriented smooth locomotion, with adjustable walking speed as well as teleport movement with additional comfort settings. And of course, you can select between snap turning, smooth turning, both with adjustable speeds. And I am absolutely going to have to try this from so many people recommending in the comments in the past. I'm going to be laying down looking up at that beautiful sky in room scale VR. Walkabout Mini Golf Lost Cities bundle includes 5 more creative courses along with the base game, and it's 30% off right now. Escape into a fun and beautiful world filled with the best mini golf courses you've ever seen. Quite literally, guys, I'm not kidding. Play by yourself, meet someone new, or challenge your friends in a private game with up to 8 people. With extremely realistic physics, you're going to create the perfect experience for hardcore golfers and casual players alike. This entire base game has 8 unique 18-hole courses to master, and each one has the ability to unlock night mode for more challenging versions of all courses. Again, you can play solo 1 versus 1 online quick matches, or you can create a private room with up to 8 players, and with that private room, every player can play on your course. If you own all of the DLC in this game, everyone can participate. They just can't do any of the treasure hunts or use any of the special putters that they've accumulated and play in your course. And of course, they cannot play and practice on the course until they buy it themselves. But before you run out and buy this game, if you are a PlayStation Premium member, you do have this game now in your catalog for free. You're going to collect over 188 custom balls hidden throughout the entire game. As well, you can solve these treasure hunts on each hard course to earn special putters. The game totally supports crossplay, which allows every VR user to play, meaning that you'll never be alone playing this game. And to fit all playstyles, you can teleport, use smooth locomotion, or fly around on your putter like a witch on a broomstick. And then you've got these custom avatars featuring lip sync and a quadrillion plus combinations. Over 2,000 people have rated the base game 4.67 out of 5 stars, with 91% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And now back to those 5 courses. With this Lost Cities bundle, you are getting Atlantis, El Dorado, Temple of Zerzura, Shangri-La, and Gardens of Babylon. If you love the Rock Band or Guitar Hero, I highly recommend you check out Drums Rock Deluxe Edition because it's 35% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 40% off total. With just under 1,100 people rating this game, it scored 4.25 out of 5 stars, with 80% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And if you're unsure whether or not the game is for you, definitely check out that Drums Rock free demo right now. And that's what I did, and I was able to get an actual sense of flavor of what the game felt like, and I was totally impressed with the actual haptics on the controllers as well as the headset haptics. I didn't actually check out the eye tracking for the score, didn't play it enough, but yes, this is sit down, pick up and play, instant action. Aside from the arcade aspect, the game actually does feature a full-fledged 4-hour campaign and then fight 2 bosses along the way. Very cool. The game does keep getting all of this love and support, so much DLC going on, and speaking of which, in the Deluxe Edition you are getting the Undertale DLC featuring Megalovania as well as the Power Metal music pack. Specifically, you're getting Hearts on Fire by Hammerfall, King for a Day by Battle Beast, Blood of the Elves by Blind Guardian, When Angels Kill by Fifth Angel, Higher by Northtail, Twilight Force by Twilight Force. And with the Undertale DLC, in that you're getting Hopes and Dreams, Megalovania. As well, you're getting some other goodies here, such as the Undertale drums, drumsticks, hands, and the exclusive Undertale scene. And what's really cool is getting that as well unlocks this extra difficulty mode for all songs going forward. So I do feel that is one of the most necessary DLCs to get for Drums Rock. And if you want more Drums Rock DLC, you can get the Drums Rock Smashfest music pack separately at 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. In this music pack, you're getting Alter Bridge by Silvertongue, Powerwolf by Army of the Night, Ginger by Pisces, Ailstorm by Keelhauled, Glory Hammer by Hutzforce, Northward by While Love Died, Delane by Stardust, Fjorschwanz by Das Elft Gebot, I can't pronounce it properly, and Angus McSix by Master of the Universe.
There's no turning back now. Or so the saying goes.
Our beloved hero Quill is back in another epic adventure in Moss Book 2, and it's 35% off. Over 1,600 people have rated this 4.8 out of 5 stars, with 96% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. Right on. I do own this game but haven't played it yet, so I can't speak to this from personal experience, but from what I'm hearing everywhere, the sequel does live up to the original and more. Quill is back and better than ever, but this time she's being hunted by those who seek to unmake this world and are desperate for the glass she holds, and they'll stop at nothing to claw it from her grasp. You must help Quill venture deep inside the Hex Castle of the Arcane, where dangerous terrain, challenging puzzles, and enemies twisted in fire and steel await. The journey will be trying, filled with triumph and heartbreak alike, but new allies, old friends, and the very nature of the castle itself can offer help along the way. Yet in the end, it is only you alone who can lift Quill up to save this world and together rise to legend. Ancient Dungeon VR looks like the original Zelda on the NES and continues to impress everyone who touches it, and it's currently 25% off. With over 500 people rating this 4.72 out of 5 stars, 93% have given this 4 or 5 out of 5, with many popular YouTube channels giving this a perfect score, such as Without Parole. And since the latest update, there's now a few more relics, milestones, and journal pages, along with 2 new alternate dungeon floors to explore. I personally have not played the game yet, but if you want to see more about this update in detail, I've included a link in my description to bsmackVR's video that you're seeing right here, as he goes into much greater detail. And this is a procedurally generated underground labyrinth with no way back and only one way to escape. Fight through hordes of different enemies with a variety of upgradable weapons, and improvise using the rich physics-based combat to survive. Right on. No 2 dungeons are the same, which means each run is different from the last. Collect and uncover over 100 different upgrades, such as companion wisps, to game changers like exploding throwing knives. Experiment with upgrade combinations to gain unique advantages. Use the environment to gain the upper hand as you battle an array of deadly creatures. Encounter wights, slimes, skeletons, wisps, flying skulls, champion enemies, and more in thrilling melee and ranged combat. Discover the true history of the ancient dungeon, search for long-lost writings and historical records, and reveal hidden secrets throughout deep environmental storytelling. Interesting. I'm actually waiting for that co-op mode to be released before I play this so I can discover and experience this game with the wife. Really looking forward to this. Feel the lifelike simulation of skiing that feels natural and real in Snow Scout, and it's 25% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 30% off total. 85 people have rated this game 4.49 out of 5 stars, with 88% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. In this exploration adventure on skis, you start on a 1-week stint as a volunteer for the Snow Scouts. Your task is to prepare a small ski resort in the German-speaking Alps for reopening. During your 7-day stint, you're guided by the radio in this remote and majestic mountain wilderness. The lifelike simulation of skiing makes movement through vast landscapes feel natural and real, even in limited VR play spaces. I will be checking out the room scale VR and seeing how that actually plays out. I'm very curious. Cross-country skiing as well as descent runs are featured as competitive events with online leaderboards. Awesome. Communicate with your friendly superior through an innovative communication system. The game offers a full story mode with over 3 hours of recorded narration, 20 ski races, and lots of side tasks to complete. Wow, that sounds awesome. I've never skied before, so I don't have any attachment to skiing, but I am definitely curious in checking this out.
Newbie, I heard about you on the news.
Borderbots VR is 50% off right now. Under 100 people have rated this 4.57 out of 5 stars, with 93% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And quite simply, this is a puzzle simulation set on a future Earth where AI is in control. As a human border agent, you begin a new role as a booth operator at an AI travel border. Interact and check over a variety of robots as they try to get through security. Some of their credentials might not be up to scratch, and it's up to you to make sure that they get the stamp of approval. And this game is actually supposed to be quite funny to play. I have not experienced this before, but again, just reading general reviews, most people leave this game quite happy. I personally have been putting this game off because it does remind me a lot about Job Simulator, but I've heard that it is not Job Simulator. So again, anyone in the comment section that wants to speak to this game, please do let us know whether or not we should get this at the sale price. Captain Toonhead vs. the Punks from Outer Space is an over-the-top tower defense game, and it's 35% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 40% off total. Only 33 people have rated it, but giving it 4.58 out of 5 stars, with 91% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. VR Scout has said Captain Toonhead might be the most over-the-top VR game ever. As well, VR GameFAQs has said one of the best tower defense games I've ever played in VR. And that's just it. This is an action tower defense game. You'll move all over the map, hammering away to upgrade towers, and this does look absolutely wacky and bizarre. Every character, every theme, all of it just looks so insanely weird. And you're supposed to balance the action with strategy, as shooting alone will not defeat the waves of cyber chickens and terra sharks. Combine those pinata tower bombs with your throws in a very strategic way if you want to save the Enter cubes and defeat Nicola Voorhees' punk army. You know, I don't even know. I just know this is a tower action defense game, and everyone that has spoken to this, literally played the game, reviewed it, has gone on to say how much fun it is. I've never been into tower defense games personally, but yeah, this one definitely stands out amongst all of the others for sure just by looking at this. So weird. Anyone in the comments section that does own the game, has played it, can you please let us know your experience? That way we know whether or not to grab this at the sale price. Bend and twist reality in this VR puzzle adventure, A Fisherman's Tale. And it's 67% off. Just under 700 people have rated this 4.38 out of 5 stars, with 86% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And yes, back in the day, I have not played it on PSVR2. It was a lot of fun on PSVR1. It was a Russian doll-based environmental puzzle game where you're seeing yourself in the micro and macro version and having to work with yourself to solve the puzzle. So very cool concept back in the day. Loved it. I do believe this would be just as fun, if not look much better, on the PSVR2, and the tracking. You can use your whole body to turn. That's probably going to work, I would assume. But I don't know if I can recommend anyone getting it nowadays with all the different games going on, even during this sale. So they did make a sequel to the game. I have yet to play it, but I'm totally interested in getting it. And for all of you that do not own Part 1 and want both of the games, you can get...
So,
You want to hear a story?
Crimen, Mercenary Tales, has you embark on 8 epic adventures filled with daring feats, ancient puzzles, and thrilling escapades. And it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. And only 20 people have rated this 4.25 out of 5 stars, with 80% giving it 4 or 5, but 20% did give this 1 or 2 stars. Experience visually stunning comic book graphics and enjoy the hilarious banter of quirky characters as you journey through this captivating adventure. Engage in breathtaking sword fights, wield truly unconventional weapons, and use the environment to your advantage. This includes 8 enticing adventures narrated by 8 lively characters, each with their own unique flair. This has a treasure trove of humor, hidden secrets, and nods to beloved pop culture, and allows you to unlock over 100 achievements as you conquer challenges and uncover hidden treasures. And other than the PlayStation Store description, I really have no idea what the game is about, whether it's a roguelike or if it's only a few hours long. Anyone in the comments section, if you can speak to this, whether or not we should get this at the sale price, that would be awesome.
Back for more stories.
Very well. Good.
GORN is a ludicrously violent VR gladiator simulator, and it's 50% off right now. With over 2,300 people rating it, it scored 4.22 out of 5 stars, with 80% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. I did play it on PS VR1, I beat it all the way through, I enjoyed myself heavily, went to go play it on PS VR2 with that free upgrade. At the time, in the tutorial, it had you move your arms in order to get around the area, and you could not change that. So I have not checked it out since, but right away, the colors of course look amazing, but I didn't feel compelled to go back after playing it on PS VR1 to do it all over again. Anyone who's never played GORN before, I kind of have to recommend you check out Barbaria first, because I think it has a lot more depth and complexity other than just the arena combat. And for sure, the room scale VR would be the way to play this. Just be very careful where your walls are, because you will be swinging your arms around like baseball bats for sure in this style of game. Do you hate spiders? Then you might want to check out Kill It With Fire VR, cause it's 75% off. It scored 3.63 out of 5 stars, with 63% of the audience giving this 4 or 5, but 23% gave this 1 star. That said, if you're a PlayStation Premium member, you can totally try the game for a full hour to see whether or not this game is for you. The game claims to feature tons of unique weapons and equipment with 8 different spider species, realistic fire simulation system, there are dozens of optional objectives, don't know how that works, with loads of hidden upgrades, and then you can battle in the Arachno Gauntlet. Again, I wish I knew what that was. And then it claims to have a secret ending. From everything I'm seeing here in the trailer, it just looks like a classic roguelike pick up and play arcade action style game, which, you know, I've always enjoyed typically. But I don't think this game will scare me. Anybody in the comments section, if you can please speak up whether or not we should get this game at the sale price, that would be awesome. That said, if you love the Guitar Hero and want that in VR, Unplugged air guitar is currently 60% off right now. With over 300 people rating it, it scored 3.45 out of 5 stars with a completely mixed bag of reviews here. And I do have to say from experience, I did buy this on sale at like 40% off at the time. I did not expect anything from it, and just like Guitar Hero Rock Band, this game is extremely simple, but unlike those 2 other games, you only have 2 buttons on your left hand, and you have your trigger finger on your right hand as your pick. When you're using your left hand, that index finger, your trigger finger, is that tiny little bar, and you do have to hold it and keep it in that position. When you move your guitar up, that whole thing moves with you. So it is actually all about precision and keeping that spot right there. So that does feel really good. And that middle finger is the 3 fingers that you're seeing there, that giant bar. And when you see that index finger and that middle finger change colors, all that is it's telling you to turn your wrist this way, and then you're hitting that index finger or middle. That's it. But do that while you're trying to keep your finger in that exact same position and then combining your 2 fingers at the same time. I found what was really weird, is that when you're holding your pick with your trigger finger, I play guitar in real life, it doesn't feel natural. You know, there's this giant gap in between my thumb and my index finger. So what I found worked really well, just saying, hold your controller down here and I pinch my fingers here or here like this. I'm not touching that middle finger button, I'm just holding the controller. In game, it shows my hand is open. However, when I'm strumming, it's connecting to the strings, everything's working. That was a game-changing experience for me to hold the controller that way versus squeezing that pick. That trigger finger just felt super thick, like I'm holding an eraser or something as I'm trying to play guitar. Very weird. The moment I did that, all of a sudden my scores just instantly increased, and I gotta say, out of the 2 songs, I've scored number 7 in the world. And I have to say this every time, when you play these rhythm-based music games, when you play on the harder levels, the hard and the experts, it is actually easier because you're hitting note for note. I do find when you're playing on the easier settings, you're waiting to hit the actual beat when you're already hearing it. You know the song, so it actually stifles you, if that's the best way to describe it. But do start on the easy or normal just to get a feel for it. But I highly encourage you, do push yourself right away, because you'll find that you'll hit those notes a lot faster and it'll feel far more natural. Jam out to 45 plus rock hits in 4 difficulty modes. And I'm showing you a list of songs that are included with this game. Again, this is just a handful of stuff, so when I jumped into it, I didn't expect these very popular licensed songs to be in there. So again, right away, I instantly got hooked, hearing the songs I'm familiar with and then playing to them. So I cannot recommend it enough. If you love the Rock Band, the Guitar Hero, this game, Unplugged air guitar at 50% off is an absolute win for sure. The Utility Room is a VR journey that takes you behind the scenes of the universe. It's currently 20% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 30% off total. 97 people have rated this 3.79 out of 5 stars, with 67% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And because I have not played this game yet and have not looked into it other than what's on the PlayStation Store description, it simply says, "Beyond a door lies a barren landscape inhabited by giant rocky heads. Here, the maintenance and heavy lifting required keeps existence stable and temporal. You are a tourist. Don't do anything foolish." And that is it, literally. So it's supposed to take you behind the scenes of the universe, but I'm assuming this is a straight up puzzle game with a twist of horror inside here. Anyone in the comments section that owns this game has played it. Can you please let us know whether or not we should get this at the sale price? Very Bad Dreams Anniversary Edition is an intense and demanding experience that will test your nerves, and it's 50% off right now. That said, if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 25% more, making it 75% off total. Awesome. 344 people have rated this 3.49 out of 5 stars, with 40% giving this 5 out of 5 and the rest completely mixed there. With this anniversary edition, you are getting the soundtrack mode, which is no longer free on the PlayStation Store, as well as the exclusive Dean's Dream DLC. And from what I hear, if you do own the PSVR1 version, you can email the developers below showing that you have a proof of purchase, and they will give you a PSVR2 key for free, from what I understand. So that's really cool. So unfortunately, I cannot speak to this from personal experience. I am waiting to actually play this game myself. I do think some of those negative reviews had to do with some bugs or glitches earlier on. I don't know if they've been resolved since. If anyone can speak to that in the comment section, that would be great. But I do totally want to experience this for myself. The PlayStation Store description says, "Forget everything you thought you knew about horror games." And I cannot. After playing Madison, I really can't. Because Very Bad Dreams transcends the boundaries of the gaming experience. It claims that your survival depends on real actions where you'll need to react instinctively to survive this scary world. That does sound very cool. It actually says, "Feel the impacts of your strike force. Feel vibrations in your head when you're hit by an enemy or your heart races. Run and jump using your real gestures." Ooh, I don't know if I like that. If I have to use my arms to actually move, a lot of games used to do that in VR. You know, I'm over that. I actually don't like that mechanic. Hold your head with both hands so as not to become mad. That is really neat. You know, very cool implementation there. So many new gameplay elements that will give you the impression of never doing the same thing. Whether you have a gun, a bat, or a knife, the best thing to do is flee and not fall into madness. I dig that. And now's the time to embark on a series of lemming-like puzzles, because Tin Hearts is 60% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 70% off total. 173 people have rated this 3.84 out of 5 stars, with 69% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 20% gave this 1 star. I have not played this game before, but I do believe that low rating has to do with the actual style of the game. So if you did not know, again, Lemmings is all about giving directions to a bunch of soldiers, essentially, that you're seeing on screen, and directing them to these locations. And they're trying to make their way from point A in the room to point B using whatever is around in their environment. Now, unlike Lemmings, this is supposed to have a captivating and emotional story of a genius inventor, Albert Butterworth, whilst guiding a troop of tin soldiers to reach their goal. And apparently it's critically acclaimed for its moving narrative, refined puzzle design, and immersive atmosphere. Tin Hearts is a narrative puzzle adventure where the ghosts of the past emerge to tell a resonating tale of family, love, and compromise. Spanning across 4 distinct acts with 50 plus puzzles masterfully woven through a grand Victorian home, steadily uncover a variety of whimsical inventions with unique abilities to provide a safe route of passage for the tin soldiers to travel. Each location has an abundance of treasured memories, whilst there are some that would rather be forgotten. In a tragic fable, which will see Albert, overwhelmed by sorrow and heartache, discover what brilliant minds do when the love for life and the love for invention are threatened by life itself. Interesting. You're gonna set out on an immersive adventure through 50 plus Lemmings-like puzzles which consistently evolve as you progress. Uncover new routes to your destination each time you play, with multiple ways to solve the intricate puzzles. Take your time working through the relaxing puzzles while indulging in the soundtrack from award-winning composer Matthew Chastney, whose credits includes trailers for Joker, Chernobyl, and Bridgerton. No way, that's awesome. So again, the game seems like it has a lot going for it, but this is not for everybody. If you didn't know that it was a Lemmings-like puzzle-based game, then yes, you might be thrown off by what you're playing here.
No, get out!
And the next narrative adventure done by the same company is called The Last Worker, and it's 65% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 75% off total. 100 people have rated it 3.47 out of 5 stars, with just over half giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. The Last Worker is an immersive narrative adventure centered around a lone worker's last stand in an increasingly automated world. This is a unique blend of work simulation and stealth strategic gameplay. You play as Kurt, and you work for the world's largest retailer and is forced to choose between capitalism or activism. Having dedicated his life to work, Kurt's loyalty is put to the test when a group of activists ask him to dismantle Jungle from the inside. Aboard his corporate-issued flying jungle pod and armed with his multi-purpose jungle gun, Kurt dispatches countless products from a fulfillment center the size of the sunken city of Manhattan. This delivers an emotional, thought-provoking, and inspiring story with rich characters performed by an all-star cast. And this game is all about player choice with multiple endings decided by an epic moral dilemma. Very cool.
We were just kids last I saw you.
Explore the streets of 1920s Birmingham and London in Peaky Blinders, the King's Ransom Complete Edition, and it's 30% off. 247 people have rated this 3.32 out of 5 stars, with just over half the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, and the rest is equally mixed there. It's 1928 and you've been fleeing the firing squad for over a decade. Turning to infamous crime boss Tommy Shelby for help, you become embroiled in the hunt for Winston Churchill's Red Box, a briefcase containing the identities of every British agent around the globe. As you've drawn deeper into England's criminal underworld, you find yourself at war once again. Enemy factions are closing in, and they all want the box. For power, for money, and the chance to bring the country to its knees. Keep your wits about you as simmering tensions explode in intense action. Defeat the odds and bring back the box, by order of the Peaky Blinders. Now, the complete edition contains all additional content, including 7 narrative combat missions which take place after the main story. Explore Small Heath and Limehouse in free roam. Take on shooting galleries and combat challenges, and be rewarded with item skins and player customization options. Come face to face with iconic characters from the show, including Tommy Shelby and his hot-headed brother Arthur, both played by Cillian Murphy and Paul Anderson. And of course, this is improved for the PSVR2, including the enhanced graphics, haptics, and the adaptive triggers. Very cool. Fantavision was originally released on the PlayStation 2 and is back on the PSVR 2, and it's currently 50% off right now. Over 110 people have rated this 3.22 out of 5 stars, and this is a completely mixed bag here. But that said, just speaking from experience, I did buy the game during launch. It may have been patched since. When I popped it in, I wasn't initially impressed with the colors and the vibrance. There's just something about the fireworks that seemed a bit really fuzzy, and even the backgrounds themselves, to me, the buildings and whatnot, didn't appear this super clarity that I'm used to after playing like Horizon and Pavlov and stuff. But either way, the game is a puzzle-based game like a Columns or something like that, where you're making these connections to the same colored fireworks that you're hitting there and you're exploding them. So I can see the addictive factor here if you're into those types of games. But because I was so excited with the PSVR 2 and then I dropped to this, I felt like, no, I'm going back to Pavlov like ASAP. So I didn't give this more than probably an hour and a half. But I do know there are a lot of people back in the day that did enjoy the actual experience. So this would be the way to play it in full VR, I would think. So yeah, sorry, I cannot personally recommend this game just from personal experience. Smash for Cash is a game show contestant in Break Stuff VR, and it's 25% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% 10% more, making it 35% off total. 84 people have rated this 2.5 out of 5 stars, with just under half the audience giving this 1 star, but 21% gave this 5 stars. Oof. In this game, you're simply going to throw and bash your way to victory, demolish an office construction site, wreck a country parking lot, crash apart a carnival, shatter a china shop, swing baseball bats and sticks to break cool things, bash away at fax machines and piñatas, crush a showcase of expensive objects, smash a fully destructible car. Essentially, they're touting that you'll have fun destroying virtual objects without the real cleanup or consequences. Anyone in the comment section, if you own this, played it, loved it or hate it, please let us know whether or not this is even worth grabbing at that sale price. Are the physics actually there to reward your throwing skill? Because that's what I really want to know. Very much appreciated. TRIPP, a new way to meditate, is 30% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 40% off total. 347 people have rated this 2.49 out of 5 stars, with 46% of the audience giving this 1 out of 5 stars. However, I can speak to this. It is excellent for what it's designed to do. It is not a game to just sit back and trip out to visuals, looking at something like that. This is literally designed to help you breathe at timed intervals with a very soft, slow, methodic voice that guides you through each meditation. So the visuals are neat, but they do remind me of very sharp PSVR1 quality graphics. Quite literally, this app is designed to take anywhere. It is very overwhelming to just pop in and see all the different menus going on, all the different exercises. I didn't even know where to start, what to do. And then here I'm learning that you're going to track how you feel each day as you're doing it. Very weird and unique. I did only play this for 45 minutes. Please understand this. And, I was pushing through it because I wanted to play a game not knowing, no, this is forcing me to chill out. At the end of that 45 minutes, I've said this a few times and I'm always talking about it because it really did stand out to me. There was one exercise that had me humming while I was breathing. And I do know that that's an actual medical thing that's supposed to create some sort of nitrous oxide. I think that's like laughing gas or whatever in you to relieve tension or something. Not a doctor, can't speak to it, but I definitely felt that the next morning, waking up going, why do I feel very calm and relaxed and lightheaded? And, I associate that with doing this right before going to bed that night. So very weird, very cool. Totally think it will help so many of you out there who do need to force yourself to stop and breathe. Again, that timed interval thing. I was out of breath. When you have to force yourself to wait for that moment to breathe in and hold, it's crazy how it is an exercise. Literally, it's so weird to say that. But I'm very grateful that they did send me the keys so I could speak to this, knowing this is meant to help you meditate. It's not a game, literally. And right when you load the game, they get you to enter in your demographics or psychographics. That way it's on a mobile app and you can take with you everywhere. So yeah, again, an exercise app essentially. Enjoy a vivid, interactive fiction about an artist finishing her final piece of her gallery submission in Behind the Frame, the Finest Scenery VR, and it's 20% off. Only 35 people have rated it 2.49 out of 5 stars, with most giving this 1, 2, or 3 stars. That said, I don't think this is a game. The actual PlayStation Store description goes on to say that now available in VR, you'll be able to paint brushstrokes and fully realize 3D space. A relaxing, eloquent experience that can be played at any pace. Become immersed in a panoramic world filled with resplendent colors, beautiful hand-animated visuals, and a smooth, easy listening soundtrack. As a passionate artist, seek the missing colors that will bring your paintings to life, all while remembering to take the occasional coffee and breakfast breaks that keep you going. There's more than meets the eye, for every painting has a story to tell. Sounds like Transformers. Dive into and explore panoramic VR worlds. Experience an evocative story through the eyes of a passionate artist. From what I'm hearing, this game has very little VR mechanics going for it, but the story is apparently very moving. Again, anyone in the comments section, if you have experience with this game, please let us know whether or not we should grab it at that sale price. And the last item on sale is a mega bundle for all of the DLC for my favorite music-based rhythm game in VR, Synth Riders Complete Music Collection is currently 30% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 35% off total. That said, if you are a PlayStation Premium member, Synth Riders, the base game, is already a part of your membership. And with that Complete Music Collection, you're getting all of the DLC that they've currently released. I'm going to quickly show you each pack that you're getting here. The latest DLC is an immersive experience for Barbie, Dance and Dream, which is performed by 50/50, featuring Callie from Barbie the Album. Synth Riders 80s Mixtape Side A. And don't forget to pause the screen, that way you can read each of the songs that you're getting in here, otherwise I'm just going to go through this really quick. You're also getting the Electro Swing Essentials Pack, Electro Swing Essentials 2, Gorillaz Music Pack, League of Legends, which does include its own unique experience mode, which is awesome apparently. The Adrenaline Music Pack plus Experience. Caravan Palace Music Pack. The Groovin' Essentials Music Pack, which does include Bruno Mars, a few of his songs. The Synthwave Essentials 2, and yet another pack with that PSVR2 experience. Synthwave Essentials 3. The Cyberpunk Essentials Music Pack. The Muse Music Pack, and this pack does include that PSVR2 experience. And the Lindsey Sterling Music Pack, and here's another one with that PSVR2 experience mode. And that is all of the games and DLC on sale until Friday, January 17th, putting an end to the holiday sale. And if you guys like the video or any of the videos that I produce, please click that like button. And if you love what I'm doing with the channel, please subscribe to it. And for all of you that have subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. I super appreciate it. Until the next one.
PlayStation